I guess God had enough. I don't know. It should give people pause. This is regarding the former CEO of YouTube dying yesterday or today of cancer at 56. 56 is young. Her son had OD'd as well a couple years prior to this. It just should. I know most people would say it was in bad taste for me to put that up. No, I'm putting it up for a more serious reason. And that's no matter how much the atheists in this country want to live in their fantasy land, there comes a point when, whether people like it or not, you will reap what you sow. You may think that people get away with their bad actions over and over again, but eventually you reap what you sow. In 2020, YouTube was one of the first major platforms that did a mass erasing, of, I want to say it was in the thousands, maybe even more than that, of channels. Amazing Polly comes to mind because I will never forget when I went to her website. She was heartbroken. She had done so much. Anybody who knows who Amazing Polly is, she invests so much time, so much hard work in connecting all the dots for you. I mean, she hasn't posted for a while now, but she's posted everything you need to know. Everything. And she's out of Canada. And she would spend, she did long videos, but tying all the connections for you, following the money. And she was one of the people that was wiped out in the purge that YouTube did. YouTube's still doing their bullshit today. But I'll never forget, she was almost in tears, like all that hard work, bringing the truth to people. And then some tech giant who thinks that they have a right to play God decided, no, we will disregard all of these voices. We will disregard the First Amendment of the United States. Now, Amazing Polly was in Canada, but let's face it, everyone in the world should be allowed the right to free speech. That said, the CEO of YouTube to do that to any American shows that she believed she had a right to play God. We have the First Amendment is in place for a reason, whether the atheists like it or not. The fact is that our founders based the Constitution on Christian values. And the First Amendment was put in because in order for people to be smart, all speech must be allowed. Not threatening speech. There's a line. If you're threatening people, then no, that's not right. But whether you think it's misinformation or whether you think it's hate speech or somebody else thinks, no, they're speaking the truth, all voices are allowed. That's what our founders believed. Because in order to have a healthy society, that is what is needed. Yet people in the big tech at Google, head of CEO or CEO of YouTube, decided, no, I'm going to play God. I am going to decide what is allowed and what's not, totally disregarding our Constitution that's been in place for over 200 years. That's playing God. When you start playing God, to me, that's something people, even if you're an atheist, you should at least be like, okay, I may not believe in God, but maybe I shouldn't mess in that area. But these tech giants, they play God. With a flip of a switch, they silence you or they put you in a box and shadow ban you, making society ignorant because they want to tell you, they want you to only be they want you to only see what they want you to see. That's playing God. I think that everyone should just sit back and pause before anybody wants to say to me, and I'm not saying you're doing this, I'm just saying I could just see the people saying, this is in poor taste. No, it's just something to think about here. 56 is young. Yet she had many bad things happen in her life. I mean, her son, I think he was in college, died of an overdose. Uh, it, it's reaping what you sow. If the seeds that you are going to sow are going to be of the kind where you are playing God, then you will reap that harvest. So it's just important to stop and think about, what seeds am I sowing? Because eventually, yes, God makes very known that the things he said in the Bible are true. And that even though you think you go through most of your life getting away with your horrible behavior, your horrible decision making, you're playing God over countries, over America's Constitution, over the fundamental right of free speech. They crucified Jesus for speech. That's what they nailed him to a cross for, was speech. So it was very important to our founders that all speech be allowed. All. But big tech and their technology comes along and says, well, now we can just decide who we think should be allowed free speech. No. That's dangerous. It's dangerous because you're showing that that's what you will sow, is that you will play God. So when you do that, if I did, I would just be worried about the repercussions from God. "56 is a young age to die. Yet she was very clear that no voices on YouTube would be allowed that she disagreed with, that the government agencies didn't like. She was very clear that that's where she stood, and she was the head of Google for a very long time. I believe, my opinion is that our Constitution was written with the help of God. So when you most especially violate the American Constitution and the very First Amendment, then you should be worried, because then you're telling God that you're going to play God. And God will let you know that there's only one God. Believe what you want, but we all eventually will reap what we sow. So the message, be sure that the seeds that you sow are of good quality.